This is the hill with the Lost Dutchman mine. The Peralta stones point you to this spot, and once you use the heart stones, the map stone, and then the Latin stone, and then the Roman numeral stone, heart stone, and get the orientation on here, shows where everything's at and where they worked. We'll get to it here. Once you get to the mountain, the horse stone tells you how far to get up to it. The map stones tell you how far from the Peralta stones to the mountain, and then how far up the mountain. And then you use the, once you get there, you use the Latin heart stone to orient. So you have words in there like, notice the triangle. There's a big triangle mountain right here, a shadow next to the South Peak. That's right there. There's tabulas, which are flat spots, tabletops. There's one over here. Apparently there was a house here, a domus. One over here. There's a big flat spot over here. That would be a good spot for that. Up there. The gorge is right here. That's called out. Looks like I didn't get over there, but there's mine tunnels called out over here too, and you can see where it would be a good spot for an edit. I didn't make it over there yet, but that's a place to look for the future. Huge tabletop up here. It's a religious area. It was probably the I would think the Indians, that's probably why they went up there, is my guess. Big flat spot that overlooks the whole area, up superstitions up there. Over here some tunnels shown, adits, and also the Roman numeral. When you put that on there as well, overlay that, you get the Roman numeral, the assays. I believe these are the assays. So it's where they took samples. There's pretty good assays in this corner. That's the number it came out to be. There's another one. The largest one was right in here, was 10,000. I don't know what the units are, but it could be pennyweight. It could be marks. They did some of that, and I believe the person who wrote this or designed this was a Jesuit priest. Father Kino was educated mathematician and cartographer, well known for his mathematician skills. So this engineering is very good. It's a great way to overlay a lot of information in one spot and get it oriented. So the heart shape is also pretty ingenious. Any other shape, you're going to have different ways of possibly getting the orientation in there between maps. So very ingenious. Let's see what else I want to talk about. When I got up there, Jacob Waltz's written descriptions told of following the high ridge, come down across to the saddle, which is right in here. Let me get these overlays off. And there's a saddle right here. And I saw a monument right in here, stone monument, and I don't know if that was his. That might have been some survey work later in the early 1900s done. They used that. So there's also a monument over here. Found a small outcropping that had been dug in quite a bit, and Jacob Walsh had talked about removing some of an outcrop to remove the evidence, any good ore, high grade ore that somebody might find it. So the rock there, the wall rock was odd shape, and it's not a quartz ledge, which just kind of threw me a little bit. But I kept that in the back of my mind, and then walked this way where the Latin map had it. Jacob Walsh has also had a description of going up the lower ridge to the highest point, and then down the hill, and that put me right in this area here where there's a nice ledge sticking out. It'd be a great place to see some exposure of some vein. So get down there, and there's that same type of rock that's up here, dug in, and you can see where it's been sampled and worked, and a big cave-in across the ledge right there, covering it up. So I believe the shaft or adit is right there. Down a couple steps, there's some more testing done. So that's the here is the vein. It's about 400 feet long. That's what he said as well. And so it's about 400 feet long. This other outcropping is on the saddle is up in here. So that's the Lost Dutchman mine vein there. Odd looking. It's a conglomerate of chunks of quartz, a lot of metallics. I grabbed some samples, and the samples I got at this point, and then another one down here, some samples. And I just grabbed what was on the ground. Didn't take, they all look the same. It's a white color with a lot of chunks of clear crystal you can see in it, and just regular looking quartz. But it was basically remobilized when this later volcanic episode happened, and that was all. It remobilized that quartz vein with the gold in it. So now it just had to be sticking out, and that's where it was literally laying on the ground, pieces of visible gold, and that's how the Indians found it, I would guess. So another interesting aspect is the bearing of the strike of this dike here is the same as the schistosity of the older rock, the ledges down the hill, that are very pronounced right here. So it's about 105 degrees from north, and it's the same within a few degrees. So basically all that plate tectonics stacked up that schist. It's in the same direction. It got twisted from being north-south strike, probably from this volcanic action, or maybe from rifting and a combination of. And then this newer rifting pulled this area apart after it was stacked up and opened up areas for this volcanic action here 13 million years ago to come up through there. So it's digesting Precambrian rock as it comes up through, and the faults with all the mineralization. Some stays, and basically I think we have remnants of that, of the high grade stuff is the remnants of those veins. The wall rock is mixtures and remobilized stuff, a lot smaller scale. The gold in the wall rock is microscopic, but there's a lot of it. So they must have found remnant chunks of quartz and visible gold. Now there's other areas to look to. There's supposed to be some adits up here, and you can see there might be some workings up there. A lot of trees right there where maybe there's moisture coming out of the hill there, but the maps sure describe this mountain pretty good. Look at the religious area right there, the nice big platform. You can imagine a bunch of people there having religious ceremonies and overlooking the whole area. Water over gold, I don't know what that is, so that's going to be interesting to see what that means someday. We'll look that area over. It's very hard to get around this area. It's so big and rough that it's just not easy to get around. But this is sure is a sombrero too. King Wolsey was looking for a sombrero in 1861, and there it is right there. I also found a spring on our way up through. There's a spring down this other side here, this ridge. It rained a week ago, so I could see it bubbling, and I don't know if it probably doesn't run in the summer, but I doubt if Jacob Walsh came up here in the summer. It's too difficult to get up there and to carry enough water to stay for a very long time. So this would have been a good plot. Build a cabin right here at this flat spot, and you got a water source right there. So it's kind of a pain getting from here over to there, because you have to go this ridge line and then down this hill, which is quite a climb, and it's rough, and then walk across the side of the hill. This isn't bad, but it's definitely a difficult journey. Here's the different paths I've tried to take up there to find the easiest path, but there is no easy way. They're all difficult. So you better be in good shape if you try to go do this, because it is a difficult journey. It looks easy here, but it is not. And they look different once you get up to them. All of a sudden you have a 20-foot sheer cliff in front of you. So it's not easy.